Hello, everyone. Welcome once again. It's Jules. It is a Saturday morning. Um, Today, I decided to take my channel a different route and talk about preparedness. We are already getting into a busy hurricane season. I just started a live stream a little bit a- ago, and actually, this is going to bring up a good topic. The reason I am doing this is because I had found out several of my treasures, which are my viewers, and live on like Gulf Coast areas, which could be like Texas, Louisiana, what is it, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida. I used to live in Florida. I went through 6 major hurricanes, and last one being Ian. So I really want everybody to be prepared. Now, disasters come in many different ways. We can talk natural disasters, we can talk man-made disasters. Uh, there's financial disasters. Our economy is going in a different route, and we need to know how to be ready to be able. Um, Hi, Alice. How are you doing? Lena's in here, so it's the usual three. Um, Uh, I had some other people last night that said that it was unfortunate they missed the channel. So hopefully they join in. Now that I'm starting to see some channel growth, it is nice. I am starting to find the topics that interest people. I saw that. Um, I saw that pic. It looked good. I mean, at some point we were all just cross-dressing, and then we start transitioning. So I'm glad that you've progressed. Um, just like myself, I'm now into 5 months in. Uh, yes, I saw that. Um, so one of the, like I said, our main topic for today will be being prepared, especially since we just saw Hurricane Beryl at such an early time in the season, uh, hit the Texas Gulf Coast. And I can tell you, Alice, that both Elena and I were concerned um, because we didn't hear from you for a few days. And, you know, there was we were hoping nothing happened, and which we're glad nothing did. But we all need to be ready in times when it can. Um, I remember with Ian, we had like plenty of water and stuff, but then getting gasoline and stuff like that is afterwards, especially when we bought the generator, um, was a challenge because usually the gas in your area runs out very quick, even before the hurricane hits, and you have to be prepared for that. Another thing, Lena and I just noted, we had that glitch in my computer. It might have been through my internet, and that's one of the biggest things you might see right away before a storm. It You might have a glitch in internet, cell phone service, and you have to have a way of communicating. Always be ready for the service to come back up, and make sure you tell your family that you are in the area that it might hit. I have found that you can turn your cell phone into um, a two-way radio. I think it's Zillow is the app. Um, it does work, and um, you can communicate with people that you put on there. Another thing would be to have two-way radios at home, or CBs for your cars in case you're traveling out of the area or have to evacuate. Um, every hurricane I went through, we decided to hunker down. Um, and but sometimes there's that necessity to evacuate. When you look at what happened during the events of Katrina, people didn't, and then when um, they had the uh, massive breaks of uh, ducts there, houses were flooded up to their roofs. I had friends that responded to Katrina and straight to New Orleans, and they said that it was amazing how much the area. It was. They said basically it was the smell of death. So it was. They said it was really really hard. Um, so always have a communications plan in case you do decide to um, evacuate. Like I said, your cell phones may only work so far in case towers go down. Always have, I would say, a little disaster radio or weather radio, and you can usually get your local radio stations on those. Usually, our TV station over there would come on, and they're usually a crank radio, so you don't need batteries for them. So those are a good thing to have um, to keep them powered up. So those are things to have ready. Um, like I said, always have you know you can have your small to-go bag. I may build this one up and always have it in the car, but I'll have so this one has a small bag back here, small backpack. This will probably be for backpacking now for me. It'll have my canteen. I can put water in and a first aid kit. That's how all the to-go bags here at my house are made, except for my good one. Has a lot of tools, um, and um, there are many tools that we all need in time of emergency. Uh, Alex, I remember responding. I got to go to Galveston Island after Hurricane Ike, and and seeing what people would have in case people decided to break into their houses. I know you live in Texas, and I know Texas is very big on being able uh, to open carry, and people had signs. You break into my property, you will be shot. They were basically straightforward because people always want to protect their belongings and supplies. So if you do hunker down at home, I would suggest to have some type of self-defense. Um, like my to-go bag now, um, is I know it's all of Texas. This is my to-go bag now. Um, this will probably be a good uh, 50 to 70 pounds when it's all set up. Um, so whenever you get your real good to-go bag, um, like this is massive, and this will carry about 7 days of worth of clothing um, and probably if I did MREs, I would probably be able to carry about 5 days worth in here. Um, it's heavy. It took me a little bit to pick it up right now, but it does have on the back has it where you can wrap it around your waist and around your chest, and it also has where it has a bladder, where to put it a bladder for like a camelback type style. So this is mine that's ready to go at any time. It was like I've said before. I do have a previous video I did on this. and it's in my preparedness playlist. Just if you want to look it up. This one was made for work originally. I was going to be on a clinical deployment team for times like this. I would be sent to the VA there, so I would have like a week's worth of uniforms in here, and you know, I would, be ready to go. I would have it ready for. I wouldn't have it ready just for the months I was going to go. I would always have it ready because I would use it for myself if any disaster were to hit here in Albuquerque. But I hear it is the place where hardly anything hits. Um, I have to, I always say have a good pair of gloves. These I bought on Temu. They look very much like Oakley gloves. Oakley makes some very nice gloves. And these have on the knuckles some very good protection. Those are very good ones. And I always say, one thing I bought, because they said to buy them, uh, I have good flashlights on mine. Now these flashlights are very nice, tactical flashlights. You can even go to Walmart and buy the one that's called a pack light. And if you notice the way they're built, they have little ridges up at the top right here. These can be used for self-defense too. If you were ever, attacked and someone's, holding you, you can get this and just hit their eyeball with it. It'll cause some damage. If you hit like their eye socket, it'll really hurt. But it would be self-defense. And mine's just bracketed right onto there. I have a little walkie-talkie container. I have, my first aid kit on here and different pouches that came with the bag. Like I said, if you want to go into depth about this bag and how I have it set up, you can go onto my playlist, preparedness I think it was called For My Jules at the time, because I was calling my channel Jules. You can go on there and check it out. This thing is comprehensive. And I always have a good pair of sunglasses. I even have a pair of goggles ready to go. They were, not expensive. I bought them. They had said for the team to purchase some, and I'm ready. A couple other things I would say is, in case you're evacuating, in your car, and say your car runs out of gas or or anything, be ready to evacuate on foot after that. So, always have a plan, a backup plan, maybe even a backup to the backup. So a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. So plan A, try to evacuate the usual routes. So I lived in Southwest Florida, and a lot of people would always want to go north if the hurricane was going to hit in our area of town. Well, what one should always look at is look at the forecast cone and see what areas are clear on the forecast cone. So when Hurricane Ian did hit, it was going northbound. So if you're trying to evacuate a couple of days ahead of time, and even if you're going northbound, that thing lasted for a while. It can hit and go and travel up to the north. So I think that a lot of times you want to look at and maybe evacuate the opposite direction of where that storm is going. So if it's traveling northbound, why not evacuate southbound? So it hit through Fort Myers, Cape Coral, and that area in Naples. But if you left a couple of days ahead of time, you could have headed down towards Miami, and it wouldn't have hit you as bad. as if you decided to go up towards Georgia and stuff. So it's an important thing to have, to be able to plan your evacuation route the right way. Um, Also, I said we did have a little glitch in my internet just a little bit ago. Um, we got to remember infrastructure and as far as communications and stuff will go down quickly. And so if we have no cell phone, we may not, or your car's GPS starts acting up. Um, I would say to buy a paper map and learn how to read them. We have a whole new generation of people now that um, I think wouldn't know how to use one. And I think that to be prepared for any type of evacuation and being ready to go, and say if GPS stopped working in a situation like this where you want to evacuate for a hurricane, um, or any other type of disaster happening in your area, I would suggest to have a paper map, um, in case that infrastructure is going down where you could not, where your cell phone's not working, or your um, or your GPS on your car is not working because the satellites aren't working when it comes to that. They're being blocked. So I think it would be a good idea to look at paper maps. Um, well, I was talking one day I went into the store and um, I was talking with a young lady one day, and we were talking about backing up. I think I had ordered something pick up at Walmart, and like I backed in or something, or when I was backing out, and they were saying how they cannot back out of a parking spot without a backup camera. I think people are getting too used to technology. One day, infrastructure may go down and technology won't be there, and people wouldn't know what to do. So I think one needs to learn how to use different types of old school stuff um, to be prepared in any type of situation such as this. Uh, we got to remember disaster comes in many forms. Like I said before, it can be um, it could be a natural disaster, or it can be man-made. When like a natural disaster, we can talk about hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, um, many things like that. Man-made ones, we can have a lot of different types of disasters that are man-made, whether or to come to uh, or some type, say like the grid were to go down in your area. Um, yeah, many different things you know can cause that man it can be man-made disasters. Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. You're on with Jules. Remember, whenever you're on here, you are one of my treasures. um, Today the topic we're talking about is how to be prepared for events such as what we just saw in Texas. Um, I just moved out to New Mexico. I lived in Florida for um, 23 years, um, and I went through 6 major hurricanes. So I'm just talking how to be prepared and what types of supplies to have. There are 2 videos on my playlist, preparedness, on how to make 72-hour bags, and what to have. That's fine, Alice. We'll see you soon. And So, you know, we've been talking about that. Certain equipment, also how not to depend on your electronic devices because that infrastructure may go down, such as your cell phones. So always have a weather radio around, as you know, cell phones may go down, and you always have the weather radios are excellent. You can buy them really inexpensive at like at Walmart. They'll have different ones. They'll be crank radios where you can crank them up and they'll, the power will stay on them. Um, so just, it's just different things to be prepared. Other things I suggest is they say it's have 3 gallons of water per person per day at home. I would suggest to have those ready to go too. Um, and I would always have a good backup supply of water. When Hurricane Ian hit Florida, yeah, Lena, it's funny. Like I said, people get too used to using their technology. Um, like, people use their cell phones for their GPS, and if the cell phone, if the infrastructure goes down, and cell networks will go down in any type of disaster, having any type of GPS is not going to be there. So people should uh, continue to learn how to use paper maps. They're very crucial. When I used to work as a road medic, we used paper maps. We didn't have a GPS on the ambulance. We were so like person in the driver's seat was driving, and then the person in the passenger seat would start the report, but at the same time they were looking at a paper map, and sometimes these paper maps are pages and pages, and so you're driving down the road, and then it flips, and over here it'll tell you you come off on this side of the page to flip to another page. So you need to, people need to learn that. Or there's the big fold out ones. I wouldn't go for those. I would uh, go more for map books because those you can find some that will, stretch the whole United States, and in it'll guide you through the major highways. Um, and so, like for example, Hurricane Beryl came in through the Gulf Coast. You can try to find yourself a way to um, exit westbound, so um, it doesn't, um, you don't, run into situations where you're going north towards the hurricane where it's traveling. Sorry, I'm getting my hat a little crooked here. There we go. So yeah, that's one of the big things to remember. Uh, don't depend on technology when you're with in a storm. Technology is going to be down. Um, I do want to I'm in the process of trying to buy a truck. Once I get the truck, I will probably buy a CV and carry a CV in there. That's going to be your last form of communication, is radio to radio, uh, not cell phone. Um, so it's one of those things. Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about how to be prepared in times of uh, disaster. We just saw that we're having a busy hurricane season. Beryl decided to come in in June. Usually, first hurricanes don't usually hit till like August or September. So I did say earlier I had a video. I had started one live stream, and we were talking about the number of hurricanes predicted for the season. Um, right now, they are predicting named storms. So that could be a tropical storm or hurricane. They're predicting 17 to 25. And if I'm correct, there's a couple of letters from the English alphabet that are not used. So that'll throw us into the Greek alphabet, which I have seen in storm season. I've lived through one when I lived in Florida where we did go to the Greek letters. So this may throw us in the Greek letters. Um, then we'll probably have, and the usually number of named storms average is 14. So we're talking at least 17 to 25. It's going to go above that. Hurricanes will have this season, there will be at least 8 to 13, and the average is 7. And this is all coming from the National Hurricane Center at NOAA. And major hurricanes, they're predicting 4 to 7, and the average is usually 3. So these are, some major numbers here. I actually still have some belongings over in Florida stored up. So let's hope they stay safe. I hope Pods does a good job of. Well, welcome back, Alice. I'm glad to see you back here. Um, so, like I'm saying, always develop an evacuation plan and have a backup to that if you have to evacuate. Always, if you live in an area that does have a chance of, having being hit by a storm, they will usually place guides at the grocery stores, and they will, in those guides, they usually show the elevation of the area you live in, and they will say at what category hurricane you should evacuate at. I know I still haven't been through a tornado. I've been through earthquakes. I grew up in California, and there's several other disasters I haven't gone through. So I'm not going to be the expert on all of them. I was on a disaster response team, and I've seen, and plus I saw after what happened with Ian in Florida, because I lived there when it hit. And that was a category 5. And I think if they could have had a category 6, it could have been when winds were up to 170 miles per hour. So that's probably double of what Beryl, the winds Beryl had. Yeah, it's amazing. Some of the pictures I've seen from Beryl, some of the damage that did. So we can see a lot of that. When you're planning evacuation plans, check the routes. A lot of them will say evacuation route, but remember those are always going to be your busy ones. So maybe try to think outside the box and go for the ones that aren't evacuation routes, and it may save you some time and you can get ahead of everybody. Okay, that's cool, Ellis. You caught a lot of lawn today, huh? A couple acres. Or 3 acres total, it looks like. So, and yes, always make a plan on how, whether at what point you're going to stay at your house, or whether there might be a certain point where you're going to evacuate, where you make your decision. Hey, if So always plan ahead is the big thing. And so if you decide, hey, we're gonna stay at home, like with me, we would say, let's stay at home till we really think the flooding would be up to this point. Um, then decide whether you're gonna go and which way you're gonna go, because that's gonna help you plan those evacuation routes. Um, and really, like I said, keep listening to the news because it's very, very important with that little weather radio to listen to what they say, because they may start doing mandatory evacuations, and and they're doing it for a reason. Um, Also decide ahead of time if you want to go to a shelter or you're going to stay at home. Um, okay, it says laws of grants, 2 city lines. So you were out cutting grass for a long time, huh, Alice? Now, when you think of your to-go bags, like me, as far as the clothing I like to get ready in mine, or as you can see, I like doing a lot of these like new what there's a lot of names for them. They're new style BDU top. I like it because when you carry your backpack, it's not gonna um, you know bother it. And like this is an Under Armour one, so it's like moisture wicking. So um, also plan to have some kind of jacket in case it's raining really hard, which I have a real nice extrication jacket from when I was a road medic. So it's very protective. Yes, Alice, it is. It's like a purplish color. Just trying something new. Um, so, um, and then always have, and also in your plan, be ready, like I said, to get ready to go in case you have to go by foot. Um, Learn to carry your backpack on by foot. Like I may go hiking soon, and I will carry mine just to see what it'll be like after for a while. It's important because you may be hiking for a while. Now, if you are coming up to areas where they're very wooded or you may have to stop for a while and rest, I would suggest to have tools for one, lighting a fire in case it's cold. We want to dry things off. Two, for cutting wood because you may not find wood around. So I've got a couple of tools for that. One is my kukri. This is a machete. And on the other side, is a saw. This is a very nice blade. Um, so I bought this. It is an SOG brand. I bought this at Bass Pro Shop. So always have one of these, something similar that'll help you, chop things down, clear the area. And another thing I like to have, and I really like the brand SOG. They make high quality stuff. I also have an SOG axe. So the only reason this sounds loose, it's actually the cover, because earlier when I pulled it out, I thought it was, oh my goodness, and this is a nice little tactical axe, and it'll do its job. So having to cut down anything you may need. Um, so it is an SOG again. Once again, um, I would I bought these at Bass Pro. Uh, they're they're a good brand, good solid brand, and they and I bought them, at a good store. I know I can trust their stuff, and um, they'll be trustworthy in any situation. Uh, I don't know how many other states are. I know right now, when I left Florida just over a year ago, well, actually, what are we when in 2023 on July 1st? Uh, I know DeSantis had instituted what was called permitless concealed carry. So, in other words, you could carry a concealed weapon without a permit. Always learn the laws in your state before you carry a firearm. When you were in state of emergency, such as a hurricane, you could just you can carry one at all times. Um, um, it, you know, in New Mexico now where I live, you can actually open carry at all times. But if you conceal carry, you have to have a permit. So you have to learn the laws. Uh, that's another tool you can have. I've never considered, yes, you can consider, depending on who's carrying it, yes, a firearm can be a weapon, but yes, it can also be a tool because you can use it to, supply food for your family or um, or protection. So if you stay home and you find someone coming to take the food that you have for your family, you can stop them. I wouldn't say, you know, just give them a warning that you are one. I would say that you're afraid for your family's lives and yourself, and tell them, um, I would rather uh, that you offer them food and and you give it to them straightforward rather than them just try to steal it from you. Yes. Now, Alice, the kukri is a machete. I don't know if you've ever seen one. So this is a style of machete. Um, it's just a very nice angle to the blade. So it is a machete, and then it is a saw on that side. So yes, you can be using it to cut down wood. It is a very, very nice tool. It's a very nice blade. Um, so I learned about it just from watching Forged in Fire. Um, One of the judges there it was his favorite blade. And then I started looking at it, and I knew I wanted certain uh, types, for my to be ready with for in case of emergency, and having to cut stuff down afterwards. Because after Ian hit Florida, there was a lot of stuff to cut down. And if we had a chainsaw, but the chainsaw batteries only went so far because we had an electric chainsaw. Uh, so, these are certain tools you want to have that you can use. Like I said, we can all have, okay, we can have one of these, but this is, you can use it to feed your family by, to, uh, if you have to hunt down game or anything. I also have a rifle. I know if I would put it on here, it would cause controversy. because of the style it is. Um, that's a 9 millimeter handgun. It is a Sig Sauer P226. Now that's a very it's a very nice handgun, but if you don't know how to use it properly, or even any handgun or firearm, please learn how to use them properly. Go to the gun range, get some instruction on it. Um, and always, like, when you handle it, never have your hand on the trigger. Um, it is very important, um, you know, because if you have your hand on the trigger, it even if you think it's not hasn't been um, you know loaded, it can always and it can always be loaded. So just always remember, with a firearm, it is always loaded until you know it's not loaded. So always make sure you check it before you handle it. Um, so um, like, that one is my home protection, and that's why, like, I had it here, and I know it is not cocked at this time. There's no bullet in the chamber. I had checked it right before this. um, I always make sure. Oh wow, Alice, that's cool. I'm glad that more and more people you're coming out to. It'll be good for you and your family. For those of you that are new to my channel, remember, on my channel we talk 5 T's, being transition, triathlon, training, which some of what I'm doing today is under training. We also talk about trends and tips. Um, we, so um, always feel free to jump in, talk about any of your experience on the channel. I have two of my usual subs here. I have Lena and Alice. And Lena's being her usual quiet self. But like I said, this particular firearm that I bought is one that you definitely have to learn how to use. Mine does not have a safety. These these guns are built without a safety. So you have to learn how to use them and be safe with them. Most firearms have a safety, which um, you should do. Well, that's good, Alice. I mean, that might mean she accepts you. Um, so, just always get trained in how to use them properly. Um, Later on, I may do a video, uh, that I may do a video on on proper firearm use. I think it would be a good thing so people can see that they are not just, something that are something deadly, but they can also be tools. Um, Last night I was looking over some, like I said, I do have a rifle. I know if I brought that on here, it would be cause all kinds of controversy, because it does every time something happens on the news with one. So I decided not to put it on here, even though mine is at a point right now where it will not shoot because the bolt carrier group is out of it. So um, I have it stored away safely. That's the thing, is know how to use these things safely. Um, and most of the time, Thank you, Lena. I think that that's one of the big things that people assume a lot, especially when it comes to mass shootings. I understand that, it's not a good thing to see. And yes, they're usually typically performed with a specific rifle, which I own. And and it gets a bad name because of the people that use them. The thing is, my my pistol is sitting right there, and right now it has not committed any mass shooting, and it sits hidden to where it's within my reach at night, and it hasn't done anything. It hasn't killed anybody. The only thing it's ever shot is pieces of paper when I go to the gun range. So people giving firearms a bad name, even specific ones, because they're the ones that are used the most in these mass shootings, I think it's not a fair thing. And I will tell you that I have friends. Well, I work at the VA. One of my friends, another nurse that I work with, he was an Army sniper, and he did say about, and I'll say it. I own an AR-15. That's the rifle I'm talking about. He said that the reason, well, originally it was created as what they call an SR-25, a Stoner Rifle 25, which it actually had a round called a 308. The 308 is a sniper round, and that's because that's what they were using for all rifles in the military. But then they decided to change the type of round. So I have my paper here. Here's the logic behind which some people say. So when you you go to Walmart and you buy a 22, which is a little mild rifle, your bullet is going to be this. I don't know if you can read. There it is. It's considered .22 LR. They call it a .22. Hello, Kenneth. How are you? You're on with Jules. Whenever you are on my channel, you are one of my treasures. Today we are talking how to be prepared in disaster. Right now, we were talking about this because Texas just got hit with Hurricane Beryl. I have gone through 6 major hurricanes in Florida. So at this time, we were talking about some supplies that you should have. And actually, at this point, I've gotten to talking about some firearm safety and why certain ones are given a bad name. So, like I was saying, a 22 rifle that you might get as a kid most of the time is this right here, the .22 LR, which means long rifle. Yes, water, 3 days, at least 3 days of water, 3 gallons of water per person per day. That's what you want to have. Now, when you look at the Remington round that an AR shoots, which is, like I was saying, is given a bad name because this is the number on the caliber is a .223. So what makes it different? It just, the length is just a little bit bigger. And really, the reason that round was created, when the military created it, it wasn't made to kill people. It was actually made to injure people. Yes. And Kenneth, that's what I was saying, that originally the AR was actually a Stoner. It was an SR-25 rifle. which had a 308 in it. Um, and then they decided to go to the AR-15 platform, which was made because the 308 is actually made to kill people. But the I was talking because I had a friend that was an army sniper, and he was telling me the rationale is why they made the .223. That is only a little bit bigger than the .22 long rifle, and the reason is a .223 only injures people, and it was made to take more people out of battle. So if you have an injured soldier in battle, another soldier has to take him in to a medic, and therefore it can take 2 to 3 people to drag him out, and therefore you have less people in battle. That's why the U.S. created the .223 instead of keep using the 308 in the AR platform. You can still buy it. Yeah, but that was the main rationale that someone gave me that um, I was that my friend taught me that he was taught when he was in sniper school. Um, yeah, it may from sometimes it may cause enough damage, uh, but a 308 was definitely caused to, um, you know, to kill. But a 223 was uh, more made more to injure in the war. But the main reason I was talking about this because I was talking about what are good things to have if you're in a disaster. And if you're in a disaster, it's always good to have certain things uh, just to be prepared. Um, and we were talking about some of the tools you may have. One, to prepare your home, or protect your home, or be uh, ready to have to hunt down some game if food has or resources aren't uh, brought back into your area. Kenneth, what do you mean a United States Air Force general picked this call? So, as other things I had, I was stating to be prepared in case, um, in case of hurricane, would would be also have your pets ready to go. Always, like I said, if you're going to create a 3 day to go bag for yourself, I would say make a 3 day to go bag for your pets. Um, I would even say prepare one that they can carry themselves because at a certain point, like I said, yes, water is everything. Kenneth, it is very important because it's what keeps you hydrated. Yet you may want to also have supplies that, even if it's just certain type of energy bars to keep you, uh, give you some energy bars. Uh, and also, I always say that you may want to have a few things to barter with, um, because people will barter for stuff, and you can get yourself water, or other supplies you may need with things to barter. Now, depending on the type of disaster that we talk about, a lot of people always say, "Oh, buy the bars of gold, buy, bars of silver." I it is good and it is bad on that, but yes, MO you can trade, but I'm also thinking of what are support or not supplies, but things that people always want that you can use to your advantage. Um, I think that many people have uh, things like, and I learned tarps are a very good thing. And something I learned during Hurricane Ian, I went to check if any of the stores were open yet, and the 7-Eleven by my house was open. And yes, it was a cash only basis, but rope is another good one. I have a lot of paracord, um, but I learned what the ultimate probably use of currency would be, because everybody that was waiting at that 7-Eleven and the line wrapped around that 7-Eleven, they were there for cigarettes and alcohol. So I would say that that would be a very, very good thing to have a backup supply of. Even like me, I don't smoke and I don't drink, and um, I would use them as bartering tools, uh, because people are always going to want them. I have a good hunting knife. I don't know if you noticed, Kenneth, before I showed, I have a nice kukri. So, and I also have other smaller hunting knives, and I have a nice tactical axe. Um, these are just things that I'm suggesting for people to have when I have a buck knife. I have small pocket knives that I have a nice real EMS knife from when I was used to work in EMS, and it just had a nice blade, nice long blade, and it had a seat belt cutter. Um, there's a lot of different nice knives that you can use. I have the basics. I have several. I have paracord. I have, you know, everything. I don't want to say I have everything that one needs, because I do need to still build up a stockpile of food and water. Um, I had started my water. I live in a what from what I hear in the area I live is actually very minimal risk of uh, disaster, but yet I want to have it ready if ever. Um, why does he get um, bothered by that, Alice? So I have a flashlight and I have a lantern. Yes, those are all good suggestions, Kenneth. I like I said, there's many suggestions one can give, and I welcome them on my channel, in my chats, in my comments section. If I forget something, everybody is welcome to add. I always say the good flashlights to have are in my 72 hour. My 72-hour bag has a nice, what is it, Walter flashlight. Um, so, it's a nice, I forgot how many lumens this one I think is. I think it's only about 150 lumens. The one on my rifle is about 1,000 lumens. So you can always take the ones off your weapons and use them as a flashlight for all the time use. Also, good things to have, like my backpack, I carry binoculars in them, I have a compass. I also have, they were they were actually EKG calipers, and what I use it for with a map is that you can, it's basically EKG calipers are used like a compass you used in math, um, to measure things and create angles. So you can use it on your map. Ah, that's another good thing to have. Now, always remember to have enough supplies for him. So remember how much food he has. Uh, have at least 3 days supplies. Yes, I did see your comment, Alice. So yes, your dogs can be very, very good to have as protection. They can sense uh, people coming around the house. They can be protectors of the house. Um, I had a Great Pyrenees, and she was great. Uh, she was kind of a funny dog. Like sometimes she would just lay down, but she could detect something coming from far away and start barking, and she would just be laying down on the ground. She just passed recently, and but she would be. And Great Pyrenees are also very good protectors. Like Great Pyrenees will actually. I saw a video of one that fought off 5 coyotes from a flock because they are herding dogs that fought off. I think 5 coyotes from a herd of cattle. So you got to find a good breed of dog that will protect you. Um, if you stay home during any type of disaster, uh, well, one alarm systems may go down, but even for in regular use, I used to always say at that time we had 5 dogs that I had. There were like 5 layers of security at my house. Uh, there was the dogs that would warn me ahead of time, uh, the alarm system that was there in place because we had one of those ring alarms. So if there was any movement outside, you would get a tone and tell you to check the cameras. Then if they broke in, the ring alarm would go off. Uh, and then the dogs, they'd have to go through the dogs and then through me. So you can have Alice, I didn't really have breakfast. About 11:30 or about 11 o'clock, I ordered a pizza, and I had pizza. But yes, pets are really good to have. German Shepherds are a very nice breed. Uh, like I said, a Great Pyrenees is a very protective breed of their owners. You know, oh, and like I said, Kenneth, yes, you can have several layers of protection, and your dog will always be your first one because they will sense people coming near a home, and then yes, they may need to worry about the owner once they come in your house and you feel threatened, depending on your state's laws, is how you can protect yourself. So, like, I just moved here to New Mexico from Florida. I need to learn the New Mexico laws, but Florida was a stand your ground state. Once they're on your property, you know, you, it was pretty much you could, protect yourself how you felt you needed to. CC's is good, Alice, but I haven't gone in a long time. Uh, she's here, Alice. Lena's just one of those quiet people that'll sit in the background and listen to everything. That's what I love about her. In fact, she just joined my Snapchat. Feel free to bring up any other topics on the channel. We talk about the 5 T's here. We talk about transition, triathlon, training, which is this is going under training. We talk about trends and we talk about tips. This is under training and tips. I'd already talked about maps. Be ready to learn how to read a paper map. Um, just be because, like I said, infrastructure may go down. Your cell phones might not work, and you might not be able to get GPS. So always be ready. Yes, Kenneth, that is a very good thing. Just watch everything going on around you. And I already kind of talked about tools. Like I said, I've got my kukri, which is a machete. I've got a tactical axe. I've got my rifle. I do have my handgun, and I actually have a bow and a crossbow. Right now, Alice, I haven't ordered anything this week. Maybe next week when payday hits. Kenneth, yes, situational awareness is the words I was looking for. That's a very good thing to learn. You got to learn that you always have to be assessing the situation. I am a nurse, and in looking at patients all the time, and looking what can develop from one point to another. It could be, you know, half hour ago this patient was fine, but I come in again and he's not looking right this half hour. So, we there are many things that we have to look at because the situation around our house and our neighborhood can change. Can change. My last order, Alice. I'm trying to think. What was my last order? Um, you got me good. Um, I'll have to figure it out. Um, I should have. I posted a video, um, so you should probably be able to find it in the videos. Um, no, I had. You know what? I hadn't put in about a garden, um, but yeah, a garden is a good thing to have, and a self-sustaining garden, plants that will help each other out and grow is a very good thing. I know there's someone that I view on Sundays. I watch their live streams, and they talk about how they have self-sustaining gardens where the plants help each other grow. Those are very good things. If you wanted to have like uh, land where you could evacuate to, one good thing to have on your property also are chickens. Those are like animals that are like, you can say, proliferate. They'll create food in two ways. You can eat their eggs, and you can, when they're ready, you can eat the chicken. You can also, and then let some of their eggs hatch, and then you develop another generation of them. So it kind of, you got generations of them going. It's a good thing. I had a friend; she would have them. If you ever want a good way to grow a garden, that I would suggest, and you can, and to start your plants, there's a good method. It's called global buckets, and I was able to start cantaloupes with it from the cantaloupe seeds in the cantaloupe I had bought, and they were starting to grow. I had cantaloupes about this big. Then they, uh, and it was in Florida, and I was using one third of the water that most people would use um, for usually for watering them. It what this works off a wicking system, and if you look up globalbuckets.org, it is an excellent system to create your own way to at least start your plants. Then you can put them into the ground, because they will, from seeds, they will start growing in a quicker and more effective way than usual. And I liked it. Let's see if I can find the website, then I'll post it here, because it was awesome. I am just looking for the main site on this. It was an excellent way that I worked on how to start a garden, and I found that um, it worked great. It was, and it um, here we go. Here's the website to go to. Um, this is not the main website to these that I used before, but when I looked at the drawing to the system, it sure enough was what I tried. You just have to get two 5-gallon paint buckets, and you can create a moisture wicking system. Yeah, I had started cantaloupes, jalapenos, um, and I think I had started squash or something also. No, I don't think I have, Alice. Oh no, not lamb chops. No, I haven't had lamb chop. I've had lamb meat before, but in a gyros. I'm sure lamb chops are excellent. because lamb meat is very, very good. So, one thing I'm going to do is I'm kind of going to summarize all this for a video later on today. Right now, we can just go to like open forum talk. Kenneth, you've been giving a lot of excellent, you know, suggestions for being prepared, and um, that's great because it can help out any of my subscribers here. If you're not subscribed to the channel, feel free to subscribe. Uh, yeah, I know, Alice. I gotcha. Okay, you guys, give me a few moments. I'm going to step away and fill my cup with some, I believe Dr. Pepper is what I have. You are, my father was in the Air Force, Kenneth. Um, and I have a nephew that was in the Air Force and a niece. So my family is an Air Force family. I do work for the Department of Veterans Affairs. I do want to thank you for your service then. Um, Now, as you can see today, because my little theme was uh, about preparing for disaster. During disaster times, I like to have like a tactical type shirt on. The Under Armour, as you can see, I like Under Armour stuff, like the new TRU style shirts. And of all things, I have a pair of Air Force um, ABUs on that my niece's husband gave me. Um, so you'll probably see them as I step away really quick to get a drink. It'll take me a few seconds, and then I will be back. Yeah, Lena, but no Arnold Palmer today. I got me some. I've got Dr. Pepper. You guys probably saw all my stuff back there. My little Alf and Yoda, and I actually have a Guy Fawkes mask, as you can see right there. You guys know who Guy Fawkes is? Actually, that mask is used by a hacktivist group called Anonymous. Um, it's after a guy who was gonna blow up Parliament in Britain. Cool, Ken. I've never ridden an e-bike because I'm a cyclist, because I'm actually a triathlete. So I've never tried an e-bike before. Mm. Kenneth, have you subscribed to my channel? Awesome. He was. Oh wait, no, that's Alice. It's saying that your dad was in the Navy. Now, I do have a stepson that's in the Navy. I'm trying to find the comment about your. Yeah, I know that e-bikes aren't motorcycles. They're, and there are limitations to it. Um, so Alice, you can thank him for his service. I'm big on thanking all veterans for their service. As you know, I work for veterans. I take care of veterans every day, and that is a big thing for me is to make sure that all veterans are thanked for their service. I When I worked in Florida in the emergency room, I had a friend there that was another nurse there, and you know, and you probably know, Kenneth, that most veterans, and you too, Alice, like to wear a hat from whatever war they were in or what branch they served in, um, and they wear them around. And he was the type, if they were like in a war, there's a certain like badge they would get. So if it was like Operation Iraqi Freedom, it would look a certain way, and then they could put it on the lapel, not on the lapel, but on their badges over here, and and um, and I see that, Alice, 20%, and uh, so whenever my friend would see that on someone, every single veteran, he would make sure, um, to go and shake their hand and say thank you for your service. That is where I learned from for that, because yes, we need to appreciate our veterans. They have done so much for our country, um, and and people. I think a lot of people will not acknowledge what they have done, and I think um, you know I appreciate that anymore. Just like people don't appreciate police officers anymore, which is unfortunate. I really, I guess I've grown up in a generation that we respected them because they're out to protect us and they do a lot for us. Uh, the military does. Our veterans have served for us. The police are out to serve and protect. Um, so, you know, and then I have several police officers in my family. One of my uncles was the director of Homeland Security for Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay, I'm sorry if there's any way you feel disrespected there, Kenneth. Um, it's just the, No, I got you, Kenneth. You have a lot of things that you went through that you feel you have to deal with. And I'm sorry if I'm, bringing anything up. Um, I this is something I actually, like I said, I work for VA, and I know there's people out there that have a lot of things are, from the past. '70-degree weather, Alice, is great. That is, it's in the mid 70s usually. Where I grew up with in San Diego is great. Everybody, I feel we are having a great live stream today. We're having steady, five people in here at least at a time. I think I've seen up to six at one point or seven. I have been really happy with today's live stream. I feel got to really get some of my point out, so people, um, we can get some of the things that we need to, you know, have people prepared. I do want to make, yes, that is a very difficult thing. And Kenneth, I'm not going to say that I know what you're going through, but I know I have to question all my vets every day about it. And I know a lot of them that uh, go through a lot. Um, PTSD can be brought on by many things, and I, you know, and like I said, there's nothing that I want to do to, hopefully, I just don't want anything to that we're talking about here remind you of any of those events. And and I know there's okay, Kenneth. Remember, there are always resources out there for you too. Alice, I was trying to enlarge that photo to get a good look at it. I haven't been able um, to get a good look at it, but I will later on. I'll send you I'll shoot you an email or something. Oh, Kenneth, yeah, sometimes it takes time for, wounds to heal. So you may try to lots of different things. And, each per, and one of the big things I teach about being a nurse. Um, hey, what's up, former TSTV? We've been talking about being prepared for uh, disaster since we just saw this hurricane. I've got Kenneth in here. He's new to the channel, and we're just talking a little bit. I was just talking to him right now, and I was just saying, well, Kenneth, we're all individuals, and certain things may not work for us that may work for others. You know, and that's the big thing that nurses look at as opposed to docs. You know, so I hope you can find something that'll help you out. I will, Alice. We had a very good discussion going about things to have to be prepared for. That and there's a lot of things I know that people don't realize what happened out in Iraq and Afghanistan. Is that where you were deployed to? I mean, I read. Oh, okay. So or is it? You're more Vietnam era. Just like myself, I wasn't military. I thought about joining the Air Force. Um, in the past, when I was coming out of high school, I considered the Air Force since my dad was Air Force, and I know that, like, I read a book, and it was mainly about contractors in. No, I'm too old now to go in the military. I'm 54, so I work for the Department of Veterans Affairs. Um, so, like I said, I'm a nurse, so I encounter you know veterans that have similar situations, and that you know I can say I'm sorry. You guys have gone through so much, um, but I thank everybody for their service. Um, I do. I know there's one gentleman that I know is writing a book about wrote a book about his time in Vietnam, and he told me about everything that happened to him, and it's very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. Um, like the Agent Orange exposure and all that. In fact, his book is they're already writing a screenplay about it, so you may see a movie soon come out. And that I've noticed that a lot. Like, I had friends that have been to Iraq and Afghanistan, and they never wanted to watch the movies like The Hurt Locker or um, American Sniper, stuff like that, because Like I had a friend that wouldn't watch American Sniper because they knew the guy, you know. Um, so it was. There's been a lot of movies like that that I know are difficult to see, especially for service members. I get what you're saying, Kenneth. Now, last my night was good. It was basically what I hardly even watch TV anymore. I have my TV sitting right here, and I hardly watch it. Um, my my Disney Plus, I guess the payment didn't go through last time, and I was watching a lot of my Star Wars and excuse me, and catching up on all the shows, and then I was on Ahsoka, and now it's. I guess my last payment didn't go through, and they canceled it. So they say I don't have a prescription. True, true, Kenneth. So what a lot of what I like doing nowadays, I either come on here and make a video, on my channel, do a live stream, or I'll do a video so people can, you know, get information. Uh, as you heard earlier, I do talk about 5 different topics on my channel mainly. Um, I talk about the 5 T's, and hence my channel is called Area 5T1, kind of like good old Area 51, and uh, and we talk about those on here. If not, my videos will usually talk about the 5 T's. Actually, I'm going to start, and for those of you that are new in here, I'm going to start a new topic, which will be probably fall under tips. And I know Alice and Lena know about it. I'm going to start a series about me and leaving the Mormon Church. For many reasons. So I am going to do a series about high demand religions and high demand groups, which you can also classify as cults. I do want to do one where a live stream where maybe like 6 of us can get together and talk about being members of a high demand religion or a high demand group. When I say high demand group, it could be, say you got into a MLM like Amway, or anything where you have to sell stuff, anything like that. We can talk about that. And look at the similarities between a high demand religion, a high demand group, and I want to do a series on, like me. I was Mormon. I'm leaving the church. I'm putting in my letter of resignation. I want to send that in, but I do want to classify it through what's called the BITE model, which means behavioral control, in intellectual. Intellectual control, it's emotional control, and T is, usually I forget the I, and but it's just basically how these groups control take control over a person. So, if any of you have ever fallen into a faith, religion, uh, or anything, I believe you can. I believe in all that. I believe in aliens. I don't have the lights on right here. Um, or get here or here, and I have one over further. All my things are about aliens. My whole decor at my house is alien related. You can even see, no, it's this way. I have Elf right here and Yoda. So, oh, really? That's cool. I believe in a lot of these myths. I think they're out there for a reason. I I live in New Mexico. I just moved here about 6 months ago, and I want to go visit Roswell and check out all the little alien museums. I think uh, I know that there's a lot of people out here. There's a small town called Socorro. It's about 2 hours out of Roswell that I've been to. I used to work with the Department of Health and Human Services at that time, and I got sent to a training at New Mexico Tech, a 1 week training on incident response to terrorist bombings. And what happened is they told us, because my friend and I went out to we tried to go out to Roswell. We went late at night. We went out to the large array first, then went to Roswell, and they told us if we talked to the sheriff in Socorro that he had like a real life encounter with with seeing aliens. So they told us if we're out alien hunting, that would be a good person to talk to. So uh, I think that's one of the things that attracted me to New Mexico, is to kind of all this different culture. I will, I will, and just about that time that I came out here for that class, um, they started building spaceport in New Mexico. Spaceport in New Mexico is out by, I believe it's by Truth or Consequences. Truth or Consequences is actually a small town in New Mexico, but they started building a spaceport, which is the place where a lot of these companies that have, like say Virgin Airlines has started a company called Virgin Galactic, and what they want to do is be able to transport people from Earth, or be able to just have them go out into space and pay like thousands of dollars just to go out and check it out. While you have or eventually they want to start settling people on the moon or Mars or whatever, that they'll do it. So spaceport was built for that, and a lot of these companies are testing their vehicles there. I will look it up. It sounds interesting, Kenneth. I really hope you subscribe to my channel. Keep coming on here. Just like you said, that you were enjoying our conversation. I'm enjoying a lot of the comments you are putting here. My channel, we talk a lot. I always say we have the 5 T's we talk about here. Yes, I know about that. I do watch a show called Ancient Aliens, and I like it a lot. And I heard about that the South Pole, there's a lot of areas that it, even military aircraft aren't allowed to go. I'm enjoying this conversation a lot. If you can see even my pillowcase right here, alien. I've got so much alien stuff since I moved to New Mexico. I said, you know what? I'm gonna decorate my house in alien stuff. I said that's gonna be the theme for my apartment, and especially since I have freedom to do it. And uh, before I had someone else that would have to agree, so now I get to do it. Yeah, I love Ancient Aliens. What's his name? Giorgio Tsoukalos. Oh, that dude, he is funny. And then that haircut he wears. Um, he's he's definitely an original. But all of those people there have lots to say, and and also Ryuki. Welcome to the channel. My name is Jules. Remember, joining in here on the conversation. You are one of my treasures. Um, thank you. I kind of break things down when it comes to learning, seeing a new name on here because my first language was Spanish. So I've always learned just to kind of uh, pronounce things as I see them. I'll believe that, Kenneth. Ryuki, did you subscribe to the channel? I was just looking at, at your comment on my channel. Feel free to subscribe. Good, thank you. The more subscribers, the better. Make sure if you have friends, share it with them. As you can see on my channel, I am trans, and uh, I consider myself a transbian. I'm a transgender lesbian. So um, and Lena, what do you mean about 152? Oh, Kenneth, yeah, I know. Oh, you're talking about subscribers. I believe it was 152 last I checked. Not unless we have some more. Ooh. Lena, we just hit 156. I went on there. It was one like it changed. I went on there right now to check as you said that. It went 155 and jumped to 156, just like right there in front of me. Thanks, Lena. Like I said, our next goal is 255. Uh, and then, no, Lena, it's not that I'm doing awesome. We're doing awesome. Remember, we are a family on this channel. All of you are my treasures that are helping me out to grow this channel. So we are a family in here. It's not just about me on here. It's about everybody on the channel. So, but what'll be nice is when we hit 500, I am going to start looking at making merch. And also, once we hit 500 live streams, we can do chats, super chats, and super stickers. And what I think I'm going to do is take whatever little percentage I can do, like maybe like, since it'll be like extra, when I start, if this does get monetized in time, what I'll do is take, I'm going to say like 20% out and donate it to like maybe the Transgender Resource Center here in New Mexico to help them out. So I'm thinking I may do that. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's like all the, whatever starts, once it's monetized, whatever I get, it's extra money for me. So, I'll use it as donation. Part of it will be donation somewhere. So, even what comes in from merch, I think that'll be a good idea. I'm really enjoying. I think Lena. I think we're having a very, very good live stream today. I think some of the topics we've had lately have really, really brought in more people, and I hope they continue to. I'm kind of. I think what's happening is I'm noticing what people like to view. So everybody in here, please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Share it with your friends. On my channel here, Jules Treasures Area 5T1. Just help the algorithm grow. Yes, thank you, Lena. Let's help the algorithm grow on my channel and Jules Area 5T1. Just remember, we talk about the main 5 things we talk about are transition, triathlon, training, trends, and tips. Today we're talking a little bit about training and tips, about teaching about being prepared for any type of disaster. Thank you, Kenneth. I'm glad you're approaching this with you are having an open mind. I've gotten a lot of people that come in here, and I had one day when everybody that was in here, they were trolls. They were just insulting me the whole time, and it was, I just basically, all I had to do was, all I would say to them, I would say thank you. It's the more people that come in here, well, Kenneth, some people are very close-minded, and when they see anyone from the LGBTQ community make a channel and they come in, they're not very accepting. So seeing that I'm a transgender woman, they're like, they're like, saying it's wrong or whatever. They just judge, and and they don't. Uh, they, I always, my big thing to do is to thank them for coming onto the algorithm, because whenever someone goes through the algorithm, it just helps the channel grow or it proliferates out more to more people, because their friends see it and their friends see it, and and from there on, it's growing, and more people see it. Yes, Ryuki, once you discover, I think it is a big thing when you discover your pronouns and your gender. Like me, I am a transgender woman, and I figured out my pronouns. It was and once I figured out my pronouns, it was excellent. I went to a therapist, made sure, you know, all this was right before I started transitioning. Um, when you go through my channel, YouTube, Kenneth, so a lot of my videos are about transition. As you will see on Tuesdays, I call it Transition Tuesday. I give an update on, as far as physiologically, psychologically, emotionally, and everything, how I am transitioning, into a woman, and so I can give advice to others. Um, and I'm just, trying to give a service to other people. Of course, I'm not a therapist. I am just, another transgender woman on here. And I do have medical experience being a nurse, having been an ER nurse for 13 years. I'm currently a primary care nurse at the VA. So there's a lot. Oh, can it? Yeah, like your little VA comment there. Um, yeah, everything's pretty well balanced for me, Ryuki. Sometimes I get, the only thing as far as emotionally is sometimes I find myself uh, tearing up a little more in certain situations. And it's just because I guess I'm becoming more emotional, and as far as being more of a woman, and like it's been like certain TV shows have gotten to me. So so it's just like that. Kenneth, since I've been with the VA now close to 5 years, I can say it's very individualistic, and that's what you'll find. Like I said, that's the big thing about nursing. We look at individuals, not everybody in general. And yes, the VA, one person will come in and they love their care, another person will go in and hate all their care. So I don't know which VA you've gone to, and how what the doc's done for you, and if they've done the right care for you, and that's usually what happens. Right? That's mainly what is going on with me right now. I'm very excited because with my transition and doing my hormone replacement therapy, those are the major changes I'm having lately in the chest, the face, and my waist. Getting a lot of the fat redistribution, and seeing it go other places is nice. Like today was my first time in a long. Um, Kenneth, I will believe that, and I'll tell you why that might have happened. Um, and I'm gonna suggest a couple of documentaries you can watch. Before living here, lived in the state of Florida, and if anywhere the opioid crisis was really bad was Florida. And actually, the drug companies went out to most doctors and gave them lectures on how it was important to put patients on them, because basically uh, there's a market out for them. And what they did for a long time, where they were putting patients on morphine, oxycodone, and stuff like that, was mainly because the drug companies were pushing it. And then when they were starting to see a big crisis about it, um, the they started holding back, and then we got other crises. In Florida, it became a big heroin crisis because people were trying to find what was the next thing they could use close to. Oh wow, you're in Florida too, Ryuki. I used to live in the Fort Myers Cape Coral area, and um, my I just left 6 months ago, back in January. Well, actually, we're going on 7 months, and and but before I left, about I had to stop my transition because good old DeSantis decided to put an executive order about it, and my doctor stopped giving it out. Kenneth, yeah, I have noticed. Usually, the VA won't prescribe uh, medical marijuana. I don't know. I think because the federal government still considers it illegal, while certain states do have it legalized for medical use, even for recreational. So it's kind of a state by state basis. Yeah, morphine's worse. So I, it is a hard thing to understand. I get exactly what you're saying. Um, the opioid classification is a very, very uh, can be very lethal on people, actually. Yeah, so after he put that executive order in, Ryuki, I had to stop. And then I was, I think I'd stopped from May or April of 22. And then I started, no, 23, because I started transitioning in November 22. And I went all the way to about April of 23. And then I had to stop. And then once I moved out here to New Mexico, I had already started my plans to get back on the hormone therapy. And and I had already made an appointment with a primary care, and she is the same one that will do my HRT, and they are wonderful here. Um, I will tell you, if you ever want a state that is where the LGBTQIA plus community is accepted, this place is wonderful. They, I grew up in San Diego, and you had Hillcrest, which was the gay area of town. Here they have what's called Nob Hill. It's very, very nice. I live like up towards the Sandia Mountains, uh, and I'm at the foothill of the mountain. And it's just the difference is the altitude. I now live at 5,898 feet of altitude. It takes time to get used to, but it is very nice, and they're very accepting of the community. I've been to Salt Lake. I love Salt Lake's all of Utah's a beautiful area. And actually, Ryuki, I don't know if you've seen some of my videos, but I am currently actually going to resign from the Mormon Church. Um, and I've been out to Salt Lake and Provo. My first marriage, I went to Provo as a honeymoon. We went out to do some mountain biking and stuff. It was nice. It's I don't know if they could, I could do, being trans and living in Utah. Uh, I know how critical the church can be. Uh, so I do plan on doing. Oh, so you were a member also? Well, Ryuki, let me tell you something. I'm going to do my letter of resignation to the church, and and what I plan on doing is I want to do a group chat or a group live stream of, it would be myself and 5 other people, and we would talk about leaving high demand religions or high demand groups / cults. And obviously mine that I am leaving is the Mormon Church. So I think I've got another person that's interested. And if you're interested, if you would be interested in doing that, I think it would be cool. Because I'm asking people, if they're from another faith, that's fine. Or if they're also, left the church, the LDS church, I think that's cool. We could share people could share their experiences leaving the LDS church, especially, whether they're straight, cisgender, or LGBTQ. I think it would be awesome. Um, so I do want to do a live stream with 5 other people. Um, I'm not the expert because I was a convert at age 24. I joined, That was 30 years ago. Yeah, I'm not in any religion right now. I'm just me, you know. Uh, like I said, I'm leaving the Mormon church. Um, it's yes, Kenneth. Many, I yes, Ryuki. I think you're right. More agnostic. Um, Kenneth, on your point here, I think someone told it to me well about um, churches or of all kinds. It seems they teach hate. They teach to hate each other, that they're the correct one, that their beliefs are the correct beliefs. But if they're similar to another one, they don't acknowledge the other one. And when that person told me that, I didn't really pick up on it because I was so still into my belief in the Mormon Church. My what they call my testimony at that time was still really strong, and it was okay. Lena, I'll probably be on here as far as another live stream probably tomorrow. It might be later tomorrow, like in the later afternoon. Um, I do have a couple people from work want to go to lunch. So I'm going to be going to that. Then I'll come back and do my live stream. Yeah, Ryuki, you're right. There's so many. And like I said, each one will say everybody else is wrong. And they'll say they don't like each other. Okay, Lena, we'll see you tomorrow. You too. Have a good day. Great having you back in here. And like I always tell my people, yeah, you know, um, life is about balance. And one of the balance is, yes, we can have spiritual uh, alignment in our lives, but it doesn't have to be to a certain faith, certain religion, or a certain deity. We can just go and meditate, like do yoga or tai chi or anything like that. That could be our spiritual balance there. It doesn't have to be to a god or anything. That's the way I look at things now. Um, it's just that you have to have some type of spiritual balance. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you. Right, Ryuki? You're hitting it right on the dot. I am a big Star Wars geek. I know that's Star Trek, so before I go, remember that the stars and other tribes campfires. I gotcha there, Kenneth. Well, look at that, Ryuki. I am of Mexican descent, and I know how to cook Mexican food. I learned all my mother's recipes as I watched her cook when I would come home from swim practice hungry. Mole, yes, mole is awesome. We've had an excellent live stream today. We're probably going to come up on and wrap it up in about 14, 15 minutes. Um, but I'd like to thank you, all of you that have been here. It's been an excellent conversation. I think, from the very beginning when we talked about, some disaster preparedness to, the transition of different uh, conversations has been great. We went into, just casual conversation. We talked about, the belief in the unknown, like, in, talking about even aliens and which I love. I love talking about them, as everybody can see. I know I don't have them on, but my lamps up here are all space themed. My whole apartment is space themed. So it's something I like to talk about. Yes, lizard people. You're welcome, Ryuki. I enjoyed having you here. I hope you continue to watch for my live streams. I do a live stream every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, I usually do them about, let's see, you're on the East Coast. It will usually be about 6 p.m. Uh, Florida time. I usually post something ahead a couple of days. So usually about 6 o'clock Florida time on Fridays. Every um, Saturday I do one 2 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, which is where I live. It'll be 4 o'clock Florida time. And then tomorrow on Sundays I always do one. Usually at 2 o'clock. Tomorrow might be a little later. I am meeting a couple of friends from work for lunch tomorrow at 11:30. So um, we will, continue to, I will do one later. I may do it like at 4 o'clock, just because, you know, um, when I get back, I just have to, prep my stuff for the channel. Sundays is usually like a open forum type thing, getting ready for the week. Tuesdays, I do my segment, I call it Transition Tuesday, and just kind of giving an update on how things are going with my transition as with my hormone replacement therapy. So I just like to kind of give a little update. Um, show myself, like I usually, like on those days I'll wear a little tank top, sports bra type thing. So you see it'll be a little more natural, so I can show more of my natural growth. Um, and we go from there. It's actually, and then some, yes, they are. I love them. I have found a couple, like I tell people on my live streams and on my channel, on my videos, that right now, pretty much I present female most of the time. The only places, the only two places I haven't come out are at work and uh, at, over with my family. These are two things that I'm with my family. I'm waiting. I live out of state. They live out in California. So, uh, but at work, I will have to come out soon because things are starting to progress. Let's say, and will show through my polo shirt soon. So, so I think people may notice already. Oh, that's cool. What's your gender and sexuality? If you mind me asking. Like me, I'm transgender female, and I like women, so I consider myself a lesbian. Okay. Yes. At one time, I considered myself bisexual. Then I went to pan. Then I finally figured that it's just mainly, um, you know, uh, lesbian because it's just. Oh, that's cool. I'm glad we're open to talk about that. I'm always open to talk about it. Some people, they'll like think I won't. I'm very open on my channel. I mean, granted that it is, something that's not too expository, I would say. Uh, I, I like to keep, yeah, and me too. I just, sometimes people will go too far and ask too many things or ask you to, I had someone the other day, I think they were obviously flirting with me. I'm surprised that they didn't ask me to do more, but obviously I want to keep my channel to a point where it will not get uh, taken off of here, so, or frozen up for, you know, and I really enjoy doing this nowadays since I've started it. Um, I started it like 2 years ago, but I was just starting to transition, and there were a lot of things going on between stuff at home with my ex, and she wasn't accepting me, and and, and I couldn't really express myself as me that much. So I filmed like 4 or 5 videos when I was out there, and that was it. And then when I moved to New Mexico, I started expressing myself in who I truly am, even before starting medical transition. And um, I did a few videos. I did one video about how you can start transition without, the medical part. Me, I am 54 and I am pretty much single now. I'm going through a divorce, which will be my second one. But um, I enjoy my freedom now. I can make my choice as far as being myself. Before I was very limited, and because the person didn't want to accept my gender. So uh, I, I, I had to move on. I had already made my decision to move to New Mexico. Um, and oh yeah, I love being around other people. And right now it's just a matter of meeting people here in my area that are. I know of some, and I'll hopefully meet up with them soon. Um, they do have a trans resource center here, so I may go there and just try to meet some people there, just to say hi and find out the areas where to go hang out, um, and enjoy life. Um, I have no problem with like going out in public. I go out. I've never been clocked. It's been great. I know it would be completely. New Mexico's a fun place. It The thing about New Mexico is you have two big cities. You have Santa Fe and you have Albuquerque, and I'm just getting to know it pretty much. And Albuquerque is a big city, but it's only 500,000 people. Um, you know, um, and but it is a big city and it's metropolitan, and but you have a lot of nice areas. You have like Old Town New Mexico. Um, right up here where I live, there's a nice hiking trail, right on the Sandia Mountains. You have this beautiful tramway you can go up and check out. Um, you can go up it to the top of the mountains. It takes you up to about 10,000 feet of altitude. Uh, and and they say from that mountain you can see Colorado with your naked eye. Oh, they say there's so much things I still have to do since I moved here. And like I said, it's very, very accepting of the LGBTQ population. I see so many trans people, it's unbelievable. Okay, so we're coming on 2.5 hours. Everybody, I really would like to thank you for having joined me in here. Remember, my name is Jules. Whenever you are on my channel, you are one of my treasures. Um, and um, and uh, you are one of my treasures. Always feel free to join me. No problem, Ryuki. We will have another live stream tomorrow. Tomorrow's live stream, we can kind of just do open forum, kind of just talk about things in general, kind of upcoming topics, so everybody knows what we're going to be talking about in upcoming, live streams and videos. I'd like to welcome all my new treasures out there. I just looked a while ago and we had at least 5 new people subscribe to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. We always appreciate that. At 2:55, I know I've already made the announcement, but I will do it again at once we hit 255 subs. Um, we'll see, Ryuki, yes, live long and prosper. Um, and I really enjoyed today's conversation. If you didn't catch it, I will probably do a little quick summary on a video. And put it on my Survival Saturday or Preparedness. I think it's under Preparedness playlist. And really, I have enjoyed this Saturday live stream. It's been great. Lots of new people on here, lots of good topics. And as always, we can continue to talk and be good to each other. Remember, put a comment down below if you would like to join me on a live stream about high demand religions or high demand organizations you might have been a member of and want to do a live stream to talk about them. I am currently resigning from the Mormon Church and will be doing, I do want to join several people. So please contact me. And I am going to do a series about why, the things that the more like led me to the church, how I was brought in, and the beliefs of it, and then why I am, the reasons I am leaving. So we'll see you. We'll see you. Like I said, I'm going to do a quick summarization video in just a little bit. And have a good day.